Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Call, happening every week at 9 o'clock. This week I am at the Placer Veteran Stand Down at the Placer Fairgrounds, now called the Grounds. So I'm doing my call from here because those are equally important to me. And I wanted to make sure that I stay consistent and doing these calls every week. That's my commitment. And I have a commitment to be here. I took the lead this year to do the hair section. That's another hat that I wear besides. So I've been a coach by default for a very long time. I've done hair since 1986 and massage since 1998 and coaching. And then I actually got certified in 2008 and 2000 and I don't remember 16. I don't really keep the dates in my head. So a while. And today I wanted to talk about, I was sharing about the Placer Veteran Stand Down, and the mission is a hand up, not a handout. And that's the goal of this particular event, is to give the veterans a place to stand down, get off the streets, have a little respite, have a little safety, some food in their belly, and some much needed care. And we also have a lot of vendors who come and offer whatever they need for legal care, or maybe their VA benefits. It's just we try to cover everything. We actually had a virtual courtroom this year for people to take care of their tickets if they had any tickets in Placer County, traffic tickets, not really big things, but. So it's a way to help them get back on their feet and help them make clearer decisions, because now they have their basic survival needs met. And I share that because it's important to me, and my husband's a veteran, so it's important. It's an important part of my life. Also, I overlay it into our life as we're on this journey of our own growth. And how do we give people a hand up instead of a handout? Or how do we give ourselves a hand up instead of a handout? Because we get so into our pattern behaviors that sometimes we don't even know the difference. So I was contemplating this topic of a hand up. What does that look like? How do we give someone a hand up instead of rescuing them or handing them money? Like somebody was talking about before the recording about the homeless people always asking for money, and how do we help them and help them be better or function better instead of just giving them a handout, because that's not always going to help them the most. And then that's that, that discernment for yourself. Like, I don't give every homeless person money that I see, but when spirit moves me, I will hand them money. It's not a lot, but so there's some discernment factor. But we all have those people that are in our life, I think, that want something when they're not ready to do the work, really. They just want us to tell them. And we want to tell them because we want to help them. But they don't really care. They don't really want the answer. I think probably all of us have experienced someone come in. I had people asking me for feedback about something they were doing, their technique of massage or something, I can't remember. And when I gave them the feedback, they just defended themselves. And I looked at them and I said, why did you ask me? If you didn't really want the answer, why do you ask? And then I stopped talking because it's falling on deaf ears. So how do we know? Yes, they're asking the question, but do they really want the answer? And I'm sure I've asked the same question of somebody to give me some feedback, and then they tell me I'm defending my position about why I did it the way I did it. Not really helpful. So those hand up is when people are ready and they want what we're offering. Otherwise, it's unsolicited advice that they don't really care about. And that's a habit. I noticed that about myself. And I'm certain I'm not the only one who does this. I noticed that I step into a coaching role or somewhere offering my point of view when somebody might simply be sharing something with me and they don't really want my advice or my point of view. They just want to share. So I found myself in that habit, in that pattern. So really listening and being discerning about why am I stepping into that role that they didn't ask for? That's my habit. Because it's a habit. That's why I do it. So becoming mindful of it and becoming aware of it so I can do something different. I had someone call yesterday, a friend, and she called and she was just hysterical because she got some really disheartening news at the doctor. She's been in treatment for cancer for a long time, and they've got this new treatment that's actually working, but in the meantime, this tumor that she's had has created this neuropathy in her foot, and the doctor told her she might lose her foot. She's 34 years old. So she's hysterical, calling me, and I just had to breathe and ask. It's one thing you can do, ask. What do you need from me right now? Because I'm quick to want to get in there and help her feel better because I know she's hurting. That's where I'm giving her a hand out, not a hand up. If I'm stepping in where she's not really wanting that, she's just simply wanting to vent and be heard because she's scared. So if I'm offering something that she's not in emotionally ready place to hear, she's not going to hear it. And then I'm dismissing her feelings and her moment of complete fear and just like, I don't even know what the word is, but the possibility of losing a foot because the nerve damage is so extreme. That's a first diagnosis, so we don't really know that that's the case, but in that moment, I had mindful enough consciousness to say, okay, don't go offering unsolicited advice or try to make her feel better, because now I'm just going to dismiss that and try to give her that hand out instead of a hand up for what she really needs. It's not always about money. This is about emotional awareness, right? And even for herself. So she said, I don't really know. I think I just need you to listen. I'm like, okay, great. I can be a good listener. Now we're both set up for success in our relationship because I know what she needs. And I'm not trying to bring something that she's not ready to hear yet. She will be later. That's how we are together. But in that moment, when we start to try to fix it for somebody or make it feel better because we're uncomfortable, really, that's the truth. We're uncomfortable with their emotional state. So I want to feel more comfortable because she's scared and crying. So let me take away my own discomfort by trying to make her feel better. How many of us do that? That gets into doing the handout, not a hand up, because I'm uncomfortable. So just something to be aware of, and there's many, many ways to give people that hand up and to be okay. For us to get okay, allowing them to have their state of emotion or their moment and deciding how, or discerning how we can contribute. And if we don't know, asking them. When it comes to something like this, I'm looking around at all of these people walking around. It's raining today. And we're doing our best to offer services, but they have to pick up the tools and they have to take the action. And that's the same with us. We can offer anybody the tools all day long, but if they're not willing to pick it up and take the action behind it, we've done our part, and then we just leave it. And then when people come back and can't figure out why it didn't work or what's happening, well, what did you do? Like, what was the action you took? Oh, yeah, right. Just some of them want us to do it for them. Can't do that. It doesn't work. It never works. In case you haven't all figured that out, it never works to try to help somebody who doesn't want help, or to tell them how it's going to be, or what they should do. Right? Here are the tools. Here's the direction. Here's where you can go. Here's what you can do. That's all we can offer is that hand up. If you've fallen and you need help to get up, I can help you up. But you got to be willing to help yourself. There's a story here. I wrote it in the last email that my husband shares about a man a couple of years ago who told him he hung around. Lou was telling the story yesterday. This man hung around at the end on Thursday when they were doing all their giveaway stuff to the homeless vets. They have new boots and new backpacks and things that they will need. And this man hung around and hung around and hung around. And he said to Lou, he said, I'm going to be back next year to help. He said, great. We'll look forward to seeing you. And he said, because if I'm not here to help next year and I'm still on the streets, I'll be dead. So he came back this last year and this year because he got the help he needed, because he got a hand up. So he drove himself in his car with his wife and dogs from their apartment. They live in Auburn. And he's come back now 2 years to help because he got a hand up and he got directions to take. And maybe somebody advocating for him. I'm not really sure what all the rest of the story is about that, but he got the hand up he needed. There was a young couple here, and they have kids that are staying with their in-laws because they're in their car and they're couch surfing, and sometimes they're in the car sleeping, and they didn't want their kids to go there with them. He's looking for work, so I had this conversation with him, and I said, hey, don't be there, no. Go in there and ask for help. Because I could see the look on his face, just that I don't know what to do and I really need help. And so go ask. Somebody will give you directions. If they can't help you, they can give you directions of where to go. And I shook his hand on it. I said, would you do that? Step up. Go help your family. He shook my hand. But I haven't asked him today if he did that or not. Oh, I'm going to see him again. He's here. Him and his wife. We can only help those who want to help themselves. And that's the hand up that people need. Not the hand out of us trying to fix them or make it better for them so that we can be comfortable. And I'll end there. Any comments, questions, aha moment, feedback? I think you're both muted.
No, I was listening.
Oh, I lost Teddy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's I think what a lot of people need is some vocational training once they get cleaned up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Far too often our country and people are too willing to hand out money, hoping that the person will just get out of the way because they don't want to be reminded of their, the situation that they're in. But I think a lot of people just need to have a place to get cleaned up, to have some vocational training, and to be able to take care of themselves.
Yes, I agree with you.
We're too afraid with giving the money, but not things where the people can actually lift themselves out of the situation that they're in.
Right. Isn't that in the Bible where somewhere it says that you can teach a man to fish? You can give him fish or teach him how to fish.
Right, absolutely.
So you can either eat for a day or eat for life. So that's kind of the same concept as you can help them help themselves or give them money and they don't. That takes care of the immediate need, but not the long term. So I think you're right on. I like it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep. Oh, that's all I really had.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's good to hear you again.
Okay.
I lost Teddy. He was driving, so I don't know where he went. But anyway, I appreciate you being here with me today. I'm going to go do some hair or massage. I'm not sure which.
Okay.
I have two hats I can go wear and go take care of some people.
Okay. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.